It is that time of the year. It's league meeting time. March 22nd, 6 p.m. start. Um, so what this is, this got brought up a few years ago. People wanted to have a good solid 30 days to really look at. I guess you're getting a little more than 30 days to look at what's up for vote, so you can kind of weigh your decision. And before we get into the vote, because the other thing that is vote involved is the 2025 um, Owner Hall of Fame ballot. So each of us will have one of these. There are 24 individuals on the ballot. Um, Owners, former owners, current owners, former owners. We also have some that are contributors to the league as well. So look forward to doing this, as every year, of course. So now we'll just get into the heart of it. There are 15 items, kind of 15, I guess. It's really, I guess, 14. There is an additional 15, but that one is open forum, so it's not really a topic, I guess. But there are 15 things on here that we're going to go over. And so everything here is A, B, or yes, no choices. There aren't multiple options this year. It's kind of one thing that. So what? One thing I did do. Well, I'll just get into it, and then you'll go as we go. I'll make the statements as we go. So first item up for bid, and some of the stuff is recurring stuff. But the first item up for bid is a running back maximum. So this it would make it so each team can only carry the number of running backs chosen on their active roster. This is part A and a part B. So part A is a yes or no. So you either vote yes, I want to have a maximum, or no, I don't. So once we get the answer on that, if it's a no, we'll just simply move on to the next topic. If it's a yes, then the choices are A4 or B5. Um, so this is one that gets brought up a lot just because running back is, in a way, the most, it's probably the most difficult position to field, and be at least competitive. You can usually find receivers. Um, I guess you could say tight end is difficult, but as a whole, the tight end position is not very strong. So I guess it's kind of a level playing field there. Um, but running back is very difficult because we start two, and some people look. We've had people carrying 9 running backs. All right, it just the whole point of this league obviously is fantasy football, right? The When I started this league, I wanted people to have the feel of what it's like to run an NFL franchise, and that's essentially what you're doing. We're not a year to year. We're a dynasty keeper, whatever you want to call it. When someone leaves, a new owner takes over, they get all existing records from that existing team. It'd be just like a coach or whatever taking over an NFL franchise. They get all the history that goes with that team. So, for example, Anthony Sykes just won our league. His second time he's won the league, but technically his franchise has won it 3 times. Um, so no NFL team is carrying 9 running backs. No NFL team is carrying 7 running backs. All right. Typically 4, maybe 5 at the most. And typically, if they have 5, that guy is probably used as a return man. But so again, it's a simple yes or no. If it's a yes, then we'll move on to a second part of the running back maximum question, which would be either a option of A4 or B5. Question number 2 is trade deadline. This was brought up last year. So where I'm going to go with this real quick is a lot of times I've had more than 2 options, and we've always said you have to get at least 9 votes to pass something. Well, when you have three options, getting 9 votes is very difficult. Because you could literally have it like a lot of split stuff. 8 is a push. So if 8 people vote yes and people vote no, it pushes. It stays as is. Status quo remains the same. So this is for the trade deadline. Our trade deadline is currently set at November 8, so November 18th, give or take a day, depending on how the season falls. That could be the 17th, could be the 19th. So it's around that time frame. Um, this vote would be to move the deadline up to November 4th to get in line with the NFL trade deadline. So this is also a two-parter. It's a yes or no. If we vote no, we'll just move on to the next topic. If we vote yes, then there's option one. There's two options, either November 4th or November 11th. So it'd be moving us either to the NFL deadline, which is around November 4th, or November 11th, which would be a week earlier than we currently are set. The reason I would like to see this moved up is to get more in line with the NFL trade deadline, especially since our league actually technically the regular season would end before the NFL regular season because our championship game is literally the second to last week of the NFL season. So our regular season, to have it November 4th, even November 4th in theory would be too long, would be too late, but I'd like to see it moved up to get more in line with the NFL. Vote 3 has come up before, and this is also a simple yes or no question. So this is a commissioner vote. This is the question of should we replace the AFL league commissioner, which is currently me, been me since day one. I bring this up. I've heard people kind of make rumblings. Not saying that they want to get me replaced or anything, but I'm kind of like, well, maybe we should bring it up. Maybe I'm passe. Maybe it's time to replace me. I don't know. I'd like to stay the commissioner. I hope this goes no. I will personally vote no. But this is a simple yes or no question. So it's no. If it votes no, we'll pass. We'll just move on to the next question. If it was a yes vote, then we would go to. It gets real complicated, but then we would have to take nominees. Who are we looking at? So I guess we would cross that bridge if it was to pass. So again, this is to replace the AFL league commissioner or leave as is. Topic 4 comes up quite a bit. This is adding defensive players. This will look at possibly adding one additional flex spot to the defensive lineup. This is a yes or no answer. Currently, we start one defensive lineman, one linebacker, one defensive back, and one flex defensive player. So that's a defensive player of your choice. I just think I'd like to see the way our league is set up, especially with the running back position being the way it is. I'd like to see the defense get more in line. And the defense can count. If you have a really good defense, your defense could counteract. Someone may say, well, my offense isn't very good and I'm really weak at running back. If I target defense, I could maybe turn some things around. And of course, last year we passed the +3 rule for the keeper. So in theory, you're keeping 13 players for your keeper this year. But 3 are part of are come out of that defensive bracket. So you're guaranteed to have some defensive personnel on your lineup. So you could build your defense going forward. So the mindset, the way I look at it is, I'd like to just add to our defense. So this is a simple yes or no answer. Again, this would be adding a additional flex defensive spot. Number 5 on the vote ballot is a minimum defensive player on your roster. So this would set a minimum amount of defensive players you must carry on your roster. This is a yes or no vote. If it votes no, we'll move on to the next topic. If it votes yes, then it goes to the question, or the second part of the question is how many. Option A is 5, and option B is 6. Um, Again, currently we start 4 defensive personnel, and have been teams that have only carried 4 defensive personnel, and typically those are the ones that really load up in the other positions. Um, so I'd like to see us, in theory, I think I usually carry I definitely carry at least 6. I think I like to try to carry 7, try to have at least one each position, or additional, like a sub for each position that way. Um, excuse me. So item 6. So again, that was for a minimum defensive player on your roster. Um, yes or no vote, and if it votes yes, how many? 5 or 6. Number 6 was really a hot topic, I think, this year, especially at the draft. This triggered at the draft. So currently, we are only allowed to carry 2 quarterbacks. Period. Um, you cannot exceed 2 quarterbacks. You can have a starting quarterback and a guy that doesn't start, or 2 starting quarterbacks, your choice, but it's only 2. This this is actually a layered topic, and so you'll see where I go with this. So this is something I thought about, and I'm presenting this before the other court. So there's 2 quarterback votes this year, and this one is being presented first because this is really something I think we should consider. I think it would, first of all, it would guarantee everyone's got a quarterback, 2 quarterbacks actually. Actually, in theory, this could actually give you 6 quarterbacks. So just hear me out. So this is a team quarterback category. So this would instantly increase your quarterback room. Each team would be allowed up to 2 NFL team quarterbacks. What it would guarantee is if your quarterback goes down, you get his backup, or 2 backups really. It also would allow you to potentially have the future team's quarterback. Example, if you had Sam Darnold, or let's say he stays on Minnesota, then you would also own the rights to J.J. McCarthy. So the way this would go, this is going to be yes or no vote. This is like I said, a layered thing. So first was a yes or no vote. Yes, have a team quarterback, or no, let's not go this route. What I'm thinking with this is, for example, because I have one quarterback that's on IR, so I actually have technically 3 that I have the choice of keeping this year. Because I picked up Dak Prescott and put him on IR, and then I have Trevor Lawrence and I have Caleb Williams. So this guarantees your quarterback goes down, you have their backup. The only thing this would hurt is if you had both quarterbacks on the same bye week. But this guarantees everyone has a quarterback, no matter what happens. So again, this is a yes or no vote. If this was to pass, if we got yes, so this is where it gets key. And just so you know, everyone's going to get a copy of the sheet. They'll have a copy of the sheet. Drafting. I will actually send this copy out. I will actually send this out in an email as well, so you have it ahead of time to really diagnose it. So if we were to pass this, then the next part is, if yes, we are allowed to keep 1 quarterback to allow movement in our league. So where I'm going with this is, you would have 2 team quarterbacks all year. So example, I have Chicago and Jacksonville. But then at the end of the year, when it comes to the keeper situation, I am only allowed to keep 1 of the teams. So let's say I choose Chicago. So I'd have all the Chicago quarterbacks, and then I just in the draft would pick up another quarterback, another team quarterback. This way, for example, teams aren't really, because otherwise, the way we're going to do this every year, so essentially you're forever locked in to Chicago and Jacksonville, unless I was to trade, for Cincinnati or whatever. Um, if we went just with, you could only keep one team quarterback. So essentially, you're always going to have that team's quarterback, and then you would draft whatever teams were available. Um, I really hope everyone thinks about that one. I really think it would spice some things up. It would ensure quarterback for everyone, 2 quarterbacks for everyone, 6 quarterbacks for everyone. Some teams carry 3 in the NFL. Um, it could also give you your future quarterback as well. Like let's say you have um, the Giants. Now the Giants are back because their rookie will probably take over right away. The J.J. McCarthy is a good one. So you have Sam Darnold. You have the Minnesota Viking quarterback room. You would have J.J. McCarthy, or let's say Bo Nix wouldn't have played, this year. If you had Denver, you would potentially have your future there. So that's the quarterback room. So if that was to pass, then we would actually skip number 7. If number 6 doesn't pass, then we go to number 7. Number 7 is the quarterback maximum rule. This would be to change the max quarterback or max amount of quarterbacks on a team can have. Sorry. This would be to change the max amount of quarterbacks a team can have. Currently, it's just 2 quarterbacks, period. Um, this would make it 2 starting quarterbacks and unlimited non-starters. And this is a yes or no vote. So this really would go back to what we were 4 years ago, I think. And here's also where I want to push for the team quarterback concept. This is a little more difficult to police because when we had this format, so when you had this format, let's say you had 2 quarterbacks that started, right? And you could have unlimited non-starters. So let's say you have 3. So essentially you have 3 quarterbacks, right? You have, oh geez, I don't know. Okay, so you have Sam Darnold. Or no, you don't have Sam Darnold. You have, let's say, Joe Burrow. You have C.J. McCarthy. C.J. McCarthy, oh my God. C.J. Stroud. And then you draft J.J. McCarthy. Okay? Sam Darnold gets hurt. Now you got 3 starting quarterbacks. So now you have to drop one. It's just, and we can evolve this. And at the very end of this whole thing, so this is how we'll vote on this way. If this gets shot down, if you don't like this one as well, this quarterback vote, then at the open forum at the end of the entire voting process, we have the open forum. You can submit your own vote on the quarterback change. Let's say you just want to make it, you can have as many quarterbacks as you want. Doesn't matter. If you can have 4 starting quarterbacks. I'm not saying someone's going to suggest that one, but I could see someone saying, well, you should be able to have three quarterbacks, and you don't have to drop them if they start. So, again, this is the quarterback maximum. This is only voted on if 6 does not pass, and this would be to change the max amount of quarterbacks. It's a simple yes or no vote. Number 8 is, and this has been brought up because someone brought up, well, if we're doing it with running backs, we should do it with the other ones. This would be a wide receiver maximum. It would be to make so each team can only carry the number of wide receivers chosen on their active roster. This is first a yes or no vote. If it's voted no, we move on. If it's yes, then it goes to how many. A is 5, B is 6. Vote 9 is a tight end minimum. It would make it so each team must carry the number of tight ends chosen on their active roster. This is a yes or no vote. If it's no, we move on. If it's yes, how many? 2 or 3? Okay. Vote number 10. This is kind of an important one. This is really to structure the league going forward. So this is votes to pass something. So like I said, we've always done it. You have to have 9 votes to pass something. 8 is push. This is only for categories that have 2 or more voting options. Obviously, so then we might have, because sometimes we might end up having an option where we have to put 3 as a choice. So this would be for categories that have more than 2 voting options. This would mean that just the majority wins, not the 9 needed for a 2-option category. This won't take effect until 2026 league meeting. That's why this isn't brought up at the start. This is a simple yes or no vote. For example, if this one had been done last year, let's say I did this one last year, then with the receiver category, I could have, let's say the receiver one passed. Let's say, oh, yeah, we want to have a maximum receiver amount. Then I could have the choices of 5, 6, or 7. So those are kind of the situations that we're looking at for that. So this is, again, is to change the minimum amount of votes needed in a category that has more than 2 voting options. Vote number 11. So this one kind of came up at the casino before the, it wasn't the Lions game. This might have been a UFC fight. So this is at the casino. We're talking, and I started thinking. The people I was with started talking a little bit. So this one is titled Destination Drafting. So this is to move the draft day festivities to another location. This could be a bar, like Uccello's or Cheers on Plainfield, which have specific little rooms you can use. Could be the casino, or it could even be a weekend trip to a voted-on location. The location can change from year to year. We could also do this for league anniversaries, like 15 years, 20 years, etc. This will be a simple yes or no vote. So, let's say we did Uccello's. We would have to have ahead how many people are actually going to come. So I mean, there's pluses and minuses to this. So I'm going to give you the, I don't know if they're pluses. I guess some are pluses for me, maybe. I don't know. So the initial start of this actually came a year ago. I was talking with someone, not in our league, and he was telling me about their fantasy football league, how every year whoever wins the league chooses where they go for next year's draft. Like, for example, he said one year they went to Vegas. Last year they did a weekend in Utah. So let's say we did Cheers on Plainfield or Uccello's. They have little rooms we could do. And we'd have to know how many people are going for sure. So the pluses and minuses to it are, if we did a location, if we did this, like, for example, a bar, restaurant, or even the casino, the plus side is obviously you have essentially a waiter for you, or a waitress. They'd bring your drinks and food. Um, the downside would be, for example, I make the video presentations. The video presentations are gone. The whiteboard is gone. The draft board we used last year, which is going to continue going forward, would be gone. Um, you'd all have your own little spot as far as we'd be all at one big. We'd get a big table, obviously. Um, I don't know if it makes it faster. The one caveat that has to happen is wherever we go, there has to be Wi-Fi because I know we're not going to get all 16 going to a location. Um, so I'd have to have the ability to still stream in some capacity. Um, the weekend trip one I think sounds inviting as well, and I'm not looking at it as like say okay we're gonna go to Vegas. I'd like to keep it somewhat closer, but there are things we could do within let's say 4 or 5 hours drive. Let's say we did it. Let's say we all say okay we're gonna meet on a Friday. We'll go to I'm trying to think of someone not far out, but we can get a place. We're gonna do the trip in Chicago. Let's say we do it in Chicago. We're gonna do it in Detroit. We find a location in Detroit. We're gonna do it here. And then let's say we'd all go there. We could rent a house. We could Airbnb a house. Um, and then we could even do it out of the house. So we get there on a Friday, you know, have fun, talk. Saturday we do the draft. Sunday morning we go home. Um, there's a lot of places we can find Airbnbs. Another one I thought, we could let's say we go to Kentucky for one of these. We're gonna go down and we're gonna visit. We're going to go to Jordan's home turf, or we're gonna fly down to New Orleans for Brady, or Mississippi for Kyle. We could go to Detroit. We could all go to the UP, where Rich and Liam and Megan are. So I don't know, just think about this one. Really, really think about this one. And it, I mean, obviously there would be money involved as far as if we were to make a big destination. Another downside to doing even the bar restaurant, it would raise the price of the food. Um, I guess the biggest plus to me is it just, and I don't want to look. I'm not pushing this for this reason. Just trust me. I don't think of this once. I enjoy doing the setup. I wouldn't have to set the room up. I mean, by the basement never get moved. Now the meetings would still take place here for sure. We need a quieter setting for that. Um, but just something to think about. Like I said, I was intrigued when I heard this last year from the his name was Joe. Uh, I used to work with him uh, at Opus, but it really intrigued me. And I was talking with the two Nicks, and I think I got Tony involved in the conversation as well. So just think about the destination drafting. Simple yes or no. Um, if it was close on this one, let's say this one was a push, I think we could re-examine it in 26 vote or in the 26 meeting. So really think about this one. And like Nick Ergang said, what if we did this? Just do it on the anniversaries. This is our 12th season, or going to be our 12th season. What if we did it for the 15th season? You know, this way people could save up for it, and we could really plan it. So again, destination drafting, yes or no vote. Next up is vote 12. Um, and this is the league fee. This has been $35 now for 11 years. Basically, I think it was $30 the first year, and then we bumped it up to 35, I think, the next year. Or maybe it was 2 years. Maybe it was the third year. Maybe it started as 25 and then it went to 30 and went to 35. It's been 35 now for a long, long time. And this was one I kind of started. This was another casino one. Kind of started really thinking about this one. And So this is our league fee has been $35 for over 10 years now. This is looking at raising the league fee, which can bring a lot of bonuses. It really would. This would increase first, second, third. It would increase division winners and add a prize for the best of the rest winner as well. Looking to go to 55. Um, this would be 50 towards the prize and $5 towards trophy. So first, we will look at doing an increase and then the amount. So this is a multiple part question. So first is yes or no. So if it votes no, we move on to the next topic. If it votes yes, then we decide the amount. And the choices are 45 and 55. So again, if it was 45, then $5 goes towards a trophy, 40 goes towards the prizes. It's 55, then 5 towards trophy, and 50 towards the prizes. And it would raise everything and also allow us to give a little bit of a prize to the best of the rest tournament winner. All right, vote 13 is one that typically comes up every year. This one is this will come up every year just because it's just healthy for the league to look at this one. This is a roster size vote. This is looking at overall roster size currently set at 23. The first part is to either leave it or change it. Part A is leave as is, or option B is increase or decrease. So um, so basically it's the first part of the vote is to leave it as is. The second part is to change it. If B wins, which is increase or decrease, then it goes to the next part of this one. So first of all, if A wins, we move on. If B wins, we go to increase or decrease. So if so, it's either A increase or B decrease. So obviously go to more than 23, or we're going to go less than 23. If A wins, then there is a option of A and B of 24 or 25. If B wins, there's an option of 21 or 22. So again, that is roster size. Option 14 is another one that comes up every year. It'll always come up just because it's a healthy one to keep in there, and that is scoring changes. This is typically one we've been skipping as far as it comes up. Does anyone want to look at this? It's to go through all scoring in our league. Typically, everyone says just leave it as is, and we don't deal with it. There were times where we had looked at stuff, but I think personally, from the scoring standpoint, we have it set very well for our league's needs. I don't think there's anything needs to get changed, but that is something we can look at. And so that would be like, let's say someone says, I'd like to see an increase in touchdown points. Then we would look at that. So that one we could literally go everything in the league, or we can just look at specific target spots. And then the final category is, as always, is the open forum trade ideas. I'll go around the room. These ideas, if passed, so if the topic comes up, if they're passed, they will go in effect in 2026, not 2025, but and also can be re-examined at the 2026 meeting. We can also discuss any of the ideas if passed, if we really wanted them to take effect in 2025. And the reason it's the 2026 and not 2025 is because that's the idea this is, to give people the opportunity to look at what we're voting on. But if the league really strongly said, okay, we're going to pass this topic, whatever, I'm trying to think of something. It doesn't matter. We're going to increase owners in the league. We're going to, we want 20 owners in the league. if like the majority say I really want 20 owners in the league, okay, then I'll look at adding 4 people this year. I know it's a really not looking to do that, guys. We could, I guess, but that really screws with the quarterback situation. Um, so I think we have done that before, where we've had, I think most of them that we've done they did actually take place the next year. Um, I'm sorry, that year of, but um, I know like the one year we did the one quarterback. You could only have one quarterback in your roster, and there was a lot of that. That's where this triggered from. But that's where this whole stream I'm doing right now triggered from, was that one quarterback vote, because there was a lot of people that after it was done came back and were like, I wish I would have changed my vote and said no. So I'm like, all right. And someone brought up maybe we should do a stream, since we stream anyways, and let everyone know the categories. And that's why everyone was given to this date to get me their ideas, and people did, or I talked to them. Some of these are my ideas. Um, so that's it. That's our topics for the meeting. Um, so I can just, so like I said, we'll have that. We'll have the Hall of Fame. I'll just quick go. So the meeting itself is going to be the 22nd of March, 6 p.m. right here at the house. Still working on what we're going to do for food. I mean, typically we do that sandwich platter. I think that works out pretty well for everyone. Like I said, if you guys want to donate a little bit of cash towards that, it'd be greatly appreciated. But we'll recap the 2024 season. We'll hand out some awards, and we'll close out the 2024 season, open 2025. I'll, of course, announce the keeper date, which never changes. I'll pass out the 2025 game schedule. That is complete. The only one that I guarantee you, because it's every year, other than your own division games, is the week 1 is the 2 teams that played for the championship, which were Anthony and JB, will meet, of course, again. And that's not a spoiler because it happens every year. The winner and the runner-up rematch from the previous year's championship game. And then, of course, we'll discuss the draft, if there's any changes we need for that. And then, of course, we go to Jimmy's favorite part of the league. Well, second favorite part of the league. His favorite part is the draft. Second favorite part is the draft lottery, where this year there only is going to be 9 eligible for the draft lottery, because, of course, we added a playoff team this past year. So we'll have 9. So I'll just give you guys a heads up, and I'll remind you as the draft lottery takes place. So I have the box, right? Well, we've never had to go through the entire box. So the eggs all get reused, and there's a bunch of have never even been opened, but so when we had 10, of course we had 10 slots. The 10th spot had 4 Easter eggs in the big box. So at some point, and who knows how long it'll take, those 4 eggs will get picked. So I can tell you right now, if the number 95 gets picked, it gets tossed. Simple, right? No one has number 95. 95 was slot 10. So just understand there may be a number that gets picked that has to get repicked. I'll just have to get thrown away. But the people involved in the draft lottery this year are Jimmy will have the most. I have the second most. Ian has the third most. Megan has the fourth most. Ritz has the fifth most. And then Jordan, through a trade with Kyle, has the sixth most. Kyle, through a trade with Mark, has the seventh most eggs. Tony, through a trade with Rich, has the eighth most. And Rich, through a trade with Tony, has the ninth most. Easter eggs in the draft. So after the draft lottery, then we go to the 2025 owner Hall of Fame vote. Those ballots will be passed out. If you're not going to be in attendance, then simply text it to me. From there, we will go to the league vote, which I just went over with you. And then after the league vote, I will open up the 2025 trading season. So right now you can start. I mean, anyone can start making trades. You can, if you wanted to call up and say, and I'll send out the draft standing or the draft order right now, and it'll have when you get it. I know this camera's not going to show it. If you can see, for example, it says Jordan and at 6 there. So of course the first 9, the only reason those are in there, those are technically should be blank spots because those are going to be. But I just put that so everyone knows who's got what Easter eggs. So when it actually comes to I'll actually have a blank copy for those 9 spots when it comes to the actual draft lottery itself. This is just for the pre. But for example, you see Jordan. Okay, here I'm pointing at Mark. Mark in the 3rd round has Kyle's. So the team in parentheses. There may be some you see down here. Mark at 12. Mark at 12. It says Kyle and Jordan. So that was actually Jordan's pick originally. That was traded to Kyle, and then it was traded to Mark. So I will send this out to people if anyone wanted to look at trading draft picks. Basically, if you wanted to make a trade, the second trading is open. You can have it already submitted to me. It's just not in stone. It's not announced until I announce that trading is open. So in theory, you could make a trade with someone in principle, and then just before the meeting say trade, and it's axed. So you guys can start trading now if you want. Like I said, don't give them to me until the meeting, please. And then after that, it's just simple open forum if anyone wants to talk about anything and everything. And then we close the meeting out. So that is your 2025 voting guide. And again, I will email this voting guide to everyone. And I will email the draft order. Again, remember that positions 1 through 9 potentially will not look like that, but you're just getting it so you know who has the most eggs. And I will pass these out as well at the draft. The only difference will be 1 through 9 will be blank. So if you're at the draft, if you're at the meeting, you can write in as they happen, as the eggs are pulled and the envelopes are opened. Envelopes are sealed. All 9 are sealed already, ready to go. Trying to get, because I like to have an independent, someone that is not involved in the draft lottery at all. So I'm trying to actually get Patrick Lane. He was our chairman of the board. I'm trying to get him to come this year and have him be the guy that pulls the Easter eggs for us. If he doesn't, I can usually get my brother-in-law Raymond, Brady's dad, Jordan's dad. I can usually get him to come. He's independent, of course, now. He's a charter member of our league, as Patrick is as well. But he's retired from fantasy football. And he's an AFL legend, an icon, if you will. Well, I'm going to end the stream now. Hopefully it was informational. I hope you guys like the categories that are up for vote this year. If there's something you didn't hear or something that you didn't like and say, well, I wish it would have been presented that way, I want you to write it down, and I want you to present it in the open forum portion. If you didn't like the quarterback ones and you have a better idea, write it down, and submit it then. That's when it'll be eligible. It'll be eligible at the open forum portion. The vote guide, the vote options are closed until the open forum. So again, write those ballots or write those ideas down and make sure you be specific with what you want. I know we had 2 items I think came up. I don't remember. I think one got passed and one got shut down. So at the open forum portion. So again, thanks for watching. Looking forward to seeing everyone on March 22nd. When I have we'll just plan on the sandwich platter. It'll be sandwich platter. Draft punch will be there. Usually have coleslaw, chips, usually queso dip. The one thing I do need is I need people to text me if they're coming or not, so I can plan on how much food we need, and so I can have seating all planned up. In my mind, I kind of have an idea who's coming. I'll just tell you who I plan on. Usually, of course, myself. I usually like to plan on Jimmy because he's local. Mark, Ian, both Nicks, Tony. JB's not that far away. Anthony has said he's coming, so there's 9. Um, I guess the ones I don't count on are the Nolets, all 3 of them. I mean, it's the UP. I don't count on them to come. They are welcome to come. I hope they do come, but totally understood if they don't. Just watch a stream. Jordan's another one. He's coming from Kentucky. I get it. Brady and Kyle. It's not easy for them to just fly up here from down south. So um, proud of having all. Oh, Greg. Of course, Greg is local, so I'm hoping to have Greg here as well. I feel like there's one other local person I'm missing. Uh, but again, I love our league, and I'm so grateful to have all of you in it. And I look forward to seeing you guys again on March 22nd. 6 p.m. is the actual start when we'll start streaming. Everyone's welcome. No, anytime after 3. Anytime after 3 p.m., everyone is welcome to be here. March 22nd, AFL Fantasy Football League meeting. See you then. Bye bye.